Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of It's a Cooking Thing. Now today we're going to make a Western omelet. They're easy to do, don't ever be afraid to make one. I know some people think they're complicated, but they're not. So let's get started. Okay, and for our omelet we're going to use a few items here. I'm going to use this queso cheese with jalapeno. If you don't like cheese you can leave it out, but it really makes it good. I like to cook it in avocado oil, and we're going to use about a cup of the baby Bella mushrooms. They have to be chopped, washed and chopped. And I like these particular little peppers. They're little sweet peppers. You can use any pepper you want. If you like green pepper, or if you don't like pepper at all, don't use it. And what I'm going to use, I'm just using regular deli ham or sandwich ham. You can, if you have a piece of ham left over from a baked ham or whatever, that would be perfectly fine. So we're going to have that. And to that, I'm going to put 3 eggs into my omelet. I'm going to use a splash of cream. Now, you can use regular milk, you can use water. If I have cream on hand, I like cream. It just makes them a little more fluffier. And, okay, now we're going to get started, and first we're going to scramble our eggs. And then we're going to set them to the side. Now, an omelet like this could be breakfast, lunch, or dinner. It's just got everything in it. And just, I'd say maybe a tablespoon of cream. Let me get a fork. And we're just going to mix this up. If you have one of those little mini whisks, you can use it, but a fork works just as good. Alright, now to that I'm going to add some salt and pepper. I would say, probably just 1/8 of pepper, and probably about the same, maybe about 1/8 of salt, because your ham's going to have some salt in it. But of course you also need the salt to salt your mushrooms and your peppers. Okay, now we're going to set this to the side. Now what we're going to do, we're going to start with our 4 little peppers. Like I said, you can use green, or if you don't like peppers, you certainly don't have to use them. Now, what I like about these, they have these little seeds in there, but they're so easy to get out. You could just take your knife and go like that. If you happen to eat them, they're not hot. You just don't have to fool a whole lot with these peppers to get the seeds out. Just be careful you don't cut your hands. You don't really have to put the knife so far down in there. Just cut these tips off and carry on with the rest of them. But the variety of color is so pretty when you're making a Western omelet. Okay. Yeah. Let me scoop this to the side. And like I said, don't worry if you get some seeds in there, because they're not hot seeds. This is a real mild little sweet pepper. And what I do, I just cut it like this. It just makes it easier to chop. And I like to put them in just little bitty pieces. I mean, if you like bigger pieces, you can, but I find for an omelet, the smaller the pieces, the better. Alright, scoop that to the side. Now, if you don't like, it's got a little bad spot. If you don't want this many pepper, You can cut that down, it doesn't really matter. It's just whatever your preference is. But these are so good and so sweet that I think you'll like using this right amount. If you got any big chunks here, you can just chop them up right here on the cutting board, and that'll be fine. Okay, now I'll put that here. Now we're going to start again. Oh, there went a mushroom. Oh well. One isn't going to matter. Now what you'll want to do is chop these up. There's really no advantage to leaving it in big chunks. It's just harder to put inside of your omelet. So you'll want to give this a nice rough chop. And that should about do it with that. Like I said, we're going to use just regular deli lunch meat. And I would say really about this much ham. If you got like a solid ham, I'd say maybe that's probably about 8 ounces of ham. And so you just want to just put that on your cutting board. And also, just cut this. And like I said, if you've got some baked ham sitting around, you can cut a piece off and chop it up. Okay. Okay, and another ingredient I meant to mention earlier, but I do like to use it, is onion. Now I've chosen 4 green onions. There again, you can use any onion you have on hand. If you don't like onion, you don't have to use it. So I think what I'm going to do is just kind of chop 2 at a time. Now I like to add the whole thing, the white part, the green part. Some people just only like the green, some just only like the white. I just think, why waste it? It all tastes good. Now we got this done. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to move over here and we're going to start our omelet. Okay, now what we want to do is get our pan hot, a non-stick pan, and I put a little bit of olive oil. You can use really, if you've got vegetable oil or peanut oil or whatever. This is going to be about a tablespoon. I just happen to like olive oil. So we want this to get good and hot. Turn your pan around and get everything as well coated as you can. Okay, now what we first want to do, we want to saute our vegetables. So I'm going to put the peppers in. And the mushrooms. And our ham and our green onion. You want to turn your heat down a little bit. This is just such pretty, pretty colors. Oh, it just smells so good with the peppers and the onions. Now, like I said, I'm all about simplicity. Now, of course, if you want to make one huge omelet, you could use this, but you can separate this and make 4 omelets. I like to cook a little extra, have it in the refrigerator, and you got it for the next day if you want to make another omelet. You've already done all the work today. So if I'm going to bring out my chopper and my knife and my vegetables, I'm going to make a little extra. Of course, if you don't want this, you can just cut everything down to about 1/4 of what I used. But like I said, I like to go ahead and make a little extra. This is almost like you cook it almost like you would a stir fry, except you would want it a little bit more softer. Now, if you don't and you want it more al dente, then I would say right about now you can take it off. But most people like it a little bit more softer in their omelet. Alright, this is done. I would say it probably took about 5, maybe 6 minutes for this amount of vegetables. So what I'm going to do, I'll just put it over here on a plate, or you can put it in a bowl, which is ever the easiest for you. Now, just get all that out. You can use the same pan, which is what I'm going to do. Put it back on your burner. And you'll want to add about a tablespoon of olive oil to this. Don't let your pan get too hot. You'll need to cut your heat down. Okay. Now this is going to go pretty quick here. Doesn't take near as long. Now, you can turn up that little bit. This is where patience come in. Sometimes you can turn an omelet into just a scrambled egg. It won't be an omelet anymore, but it certainly tastes just as good. You want to pull this back, let some of the uncooked egg go to the side. Sometimes you got to lift your pan off your burner just so you won't be getting that intense heat on the bottom. Just make sure you can move your omelet around. All right. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to set this off just for a second. Turn my heat down. And I'm going to take half these vegetables. Of course, we like lots of goodies on ours. And I'm going to take this real creamy cheese, put it over here. And as best you can, you flip your omelet over. Now you can turn your burner off at this point. Let it get a little melty. All right. And as best you can. This is a pretty big omelet. You just slip it right onto your plate. And there it is. Now we're going to do our taste test. Okay, now we're going to try our omelet. hot. Very good. You can taste your peppers, your green onion, the queso cheese. It is really, really good. And like I said, you can have this for breakfast, you can have it for lunch, you can have it for dinner. It's a meal in one. Well, thank you for watching.